I was scrolling through social media recently and I came across the question, does the Bible teach that the earth is flat? Now, I am used to, people who are holistic and into all these other things thinking that the earth is flat, but what caught my attention was Christians. There are actually Christians who were talking that the earth is flat, who are actually teaching that the earth is flat, who are saying that they have scriptures that prove that the earth is flat. And I looked at some of the scriptures that they presented, and I saw three main scriptures that they were using to say that the earth is flat. The first one is in Revelation 7:1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth. The second scripture they used was in the book of Psalms 48:10. According to your name, O God, so is your praise to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is full of righteousness. And of course, the key to focus on there is the ends of the earth. And then they went into the book of Deuteronomy 13:7, which reads, of the gods of the people who are around you, near you, or far from you, from one end of the earth to the other. Of course, they focus on the one end of the earth to the other. Now, the question is, when they say one end of the earth to the other, do they mean like a sheet of paper? Like if you see these pictures here, they each have a corner. That's how I've always thought that that's how they look at the earth when they say the earth is flat. They look at it as four corners. Now, did it mean four corners from the end of the earth to the other, or was it talking about a compass, north, south, east, and west, one end to the other? Even with the earth being flat, there still is a true north, south, east, and west. Now, the question I have is that for years, for the last 50 or 60 years, we have seen satellite footage, we've seen pictures that the earth is round. We've seen satellites go around the earth. We've seen satellites from up high pointing down that the earth is round, but yet and still, these people, these believers, still believe that the earth is flat. They say that this is CGI, this is made up. Nobody has actually ever been to space. And if nobody has ever been to space, there's definitely not any satellite. They won't even accept the fact that there are satellites that circle around the whole globe, and we have gotten pictures that the earth is round. Now, let's look at a couple of scriptures that have been presented to prove that the earth is round. Isaiah 40:22. It reads, he being God, sits enthroned above the circle of the earth. Its dwellers are like grasshoppers. It says that he sits enthroned above the circle of the earth. The next one would be in the book of Job 26:10. It says that he has inscribed a circle on the surface of the waters at the boundary of light and darkness. Now, I want to focus on that for a minute. The boundary of light and darkness. If you look at the globe that's here, even though this is a lamp that's shining on the globe, if you look at the top right hand corner of this globe, you can see that there is a shadow. One part of the globe is lit up, and then you see a little shadow. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because if the earth was flat, then it wouldn't be part light on this globe and part shadow. It would be either all light or all shadow, because if the earth is flat, it would either be day all the time or it would be night all the time. If the earth was flat, there would be nothing to house the waters of the earth in place, because if there's one end of the earth to the other, that means that the water that flows from the Atlantic to the Pacific all around the whole globe, how would it stop? If the earth is round, how and where would the water stop? At one point, the water would have to get to the quote end of the earth, right? And when it gets there, what happens? Unless you're trying to tell me that the earth is like a pool table, without the pockets, of course, and that when the water hits one corner, it hits that corner, and it goes up, it goes north, and it hits that corner, then it goes west, and the water just keeps circling around the earth. Well, if that is the case, then what stops the land from being flooded out? Because at some point, the violent waters would have to hit something that would bounce back and cover the land. I'm not exactly sure where this theory comes from, but I just want to touch on this because it caught my attention that people still think the earth is flat. And what caught my attention more than anything is that there are believers who believe that the earth is flat. Anyway, if you are a flat earther, and I'm particularly not particularly, I'm talking really only to believers. If you are a believer and a Christian and you believe the earth is flat, please present your evidence. I mean, why do you feel this way? Where are you getting this from, and what makes you feel this way? And if you agree with me that the earth is round, I would love to hear from you too. I'd love to have a good, respectful conversation about it and see what you all think. That's pretty much it. I just kind of want to touch on that real quick and give my thoughts on that. Other than that, that's all for now. God bless.